Hello everyone, I'm Amit, and in this particular session we are going to talk about secondary memory or storage devices in the computer system organization. Let's start with it, and first of all we will understand about the secondary memory or the secondary storage devices which can store large amount of data permanently and in a cost effective manner. Because if we see that the main challenge with the primary memory, that is RAM or ROM or cache, it is only the thing that we cannot store a large amount of data in a cost effective manner, and that too in case of RAM, if we think that we cannot store it permanently because it is volatile, and with ROM it is very costly. So that particular challenge has been resolved by the secondary storage devices, which can store a large amount of data permanently in a cost effective manner. That is to be understood. And if we talk about type of secondary memory or storage devices, they can be categorized into three types. That is magnetic media, optical media and flash memory. In case of the magnetic media, it's a floppy disk, hard disk and magnetic tape, and in optical media we'll be talking about CD, DVD or the Blu-ray Disc with various variations, and in case of flash memory we will be talking about pen drive and memory card. Now first of all, the magnetic disk first is the floppy disk. So floppy disk is basically a storage medium which was thin and flexible magnetic storage medium. It was a plastic sheet coated with a magnetic material enclosed in a fabric jacket, which was a square basically, and the sizes of those squares were 8-inch, then 5.25 inch, then 3.5 inch square, if you can see there. And as the evolution was there, the last floppy disk, which was 3.5 inch square, could store only 1.44 MB data, that too with a high density storage version. So you can imagine that this kind of storage is way less than size of the one photograph we click with our smartphones nowadays. We are talking about 2020. So this was very less. So we could write floppy disk as well as read from it with the help of floppy disk drive. Now they are outdated, but they were the first portable device for secondary storage, right? So now we'll talk about one of the most important secondary storage device, that is hard disk. Hard disk is non-volatile, means anything which we want to store, we can store it permanently, and it has a high capacity storage ranging from 1 GB to several terabytes TVs. So you can see that nowadays in a desktop or laptop we normally have 1 TB of storage. So it stores information on one or more circular platters called disks, which is continuously spinning. In this diagram, in this picture also, you can see here there are circular platters stacked upon one by one on one another, and here is a spindle around which they spin continuously, and this one is the head which is used to read and write, and actuator arm is there to control this head, and here is the data transfer and the power supply connector points, right? So now we'll see it how it works actually. So these disks which are stacked around a spindle are basically coated with magnetic material, and information is recorded on them in the form of magnetic spots, which can be read by this magnetic heads. So actuator arm controls the magnetic heads, and these platters continuously spins around the spindle, and here are the power connector and other jumper and ID connector, right? Next is we'll understand that how data is actually stored on the hard disk. It is actually divided in terms of tracks, sectors as well as cylinders to keep the data organized. See, this tracks on this hard disk or hard disk platter are very similar to the tracks in the racing track called in the track and field events. And here you can see this V-shaped thing is called a sector, and this circular thing is called a track, right? So if we see in case of platter, so here we can see in the V shape there is a small sector on a track, and if we combine more than one sector, it makes one cluster, and if many clusters are combined to form a circle, it becomes a track, and many tracks on multiple platters form a cylinder. And actuator arm controls this head to read the information or write the information on this platter, right? So next magnetic storage device is our magnetic tape, which is normally used for the backup purpose, archival purposes. It's also magnetic coated tape, plastic film basically. This is very similar to the film which was used in theaters for recording the movies, or very similar to the old cassettes or tapes we used at home in our VCDs or VCRs rather. So this is particularly used in banks or where the data is sensitive. Like for example, in banks we have the customer data which is to be backed up again and again every time, means like after a periodic interval. So there this is very essential, and it is required to take the backup of the data so that if anything happens to the computer systems, then this backup of the data storage can be used to retrieve everything back. Next we come on optical devices, the CD compact disc. Compact disc is basically optical media. When we talk about optical media, optics means light. Here laser light is used for reading or writing the information onto the disk. It's a 120 mm size disk which can store 700 MB of data on it, and relatively very cheap. Commonly it is used for audio and video storage, though we can store text, but we are more talking about audios and videos which need high capacity and in a cost effective manner. So the data speed on a normal CD is 150 KB per second, but if it is for 4x CD, means 4 times, so 150 into 4, it becomes 600 kilobytes per second, right? So now we talk about different type of CDs. CDs are of 3 varieties, CD-ROM, CD-R, CD-RW. ROM means read-only memory, means that these kind of CDs are created commercially by the manufacturer, and they cannot be written again. For example, we talk about e-books, game, encyclopedias. They are actually once written by the manufacturer, they can be only read, it cannot be written. And second is the CD recordable. It can be written only once, and then the disk cannot be erased, and it's like a blank CD. And third one is CD rewritable. This is an erasable disk which can be written multiple times, as many as times you want, right? Next is the DVD. This is also called digital versatile disk or digital video disk, which is an optical storage device. Again, laser is used to read and write, and it can store 15 times more information than CD-ROM. It can transfer the data to a computer 20 times as much faster as a CD-ROM, and its capacity is 4.7 GB with the single side and 8.5 GB if we can store the data on double side of the disk. It's like that, right? So DVD also comes in all these 3 varieties: ROM, R, and RW. ROM is read-only memory, R is your recordable, and rewritable is your RW, right? So next is the Blu-ray Disc. As we are a data hungry generation and storage hungry generation, so we have a lot of images and videos to be stored, and that too with the high quality format. So for that we need a better disk. that is called a Blu-ray Disc, and it supports high resolution and more advanced audio video formats as compared to DVDs. We'll talk about it in the next slide, but basically it's a high capacity optical disc medium which is developed from recording, rewriting and playing back HD videos, right? So we'll be talking about it in explanation. Now see here, Blu-ray Disc uses a special kind of laser called blue violet laser, whereas the DVD or CD uses red laser to read or write the data onto the disc, and the wavelength of this red laser is 650 nanometer, whereas in case of blue violet laser it's 450 nanometer. Having a shorter wavelength provides it an advantage that it can have a better focus on laser spots and with a great precision. So which means in a lesser space data can be more tightly stored and more data can be stored. So obviously the storage capacity of the disk increases. So normally a Blu-ray disc comes in the capacity of 128 GB. So it can, as I already told you, it can store some high definition or advanced audio video formats like 4K HDR or Ultra HD videos can be stored in it, which are common these days. Next is the flash memory. In flash memory, we'll talk about the pen drive. So flash memory is small, ultra portable storage device with a solid state memory. This is the key point here, solid state memory, because it has no moving parts like magnetic storage devices, floppy hard disk, etc., and it does not use any laser, unlike optical storage devices like CD, DVDs. So it works similar to RAM, but it is non-volatile. Means the working is similar to RAM, but it is the data can be stored permanently in it. And obviously it's a cost effective, fairly inexpensive, and the storage capacity can be from 256 MB to 128 GB nowadays. And here you can see how it looks from internally and how it can have any shape externally. Last one is the memory card. So memory card is also a flash memory which is used to store the data mainly for digital cameras, computers, mobile phones, video games, etc. So they also offer high recordability with power-free storage ranging from few MB to TB. This is a very handy and very small card, and it can be installed in any camera, mobile phone to record the information. And here you can see here is a memory card reader which can read information from various size memory cards here. So this is all about memory devices. You can refer these two books for good resources, and feel free to ask any question on the topic. Thank you.